Rich,
Yeah.
do you like Dark Souls games?
Not particularly, no.
Well, then you're not going to like Mortal Shell, which is effectively a Dark Souls-like, a Soulsborne game,
Okay.
whatever you want to call it. It is a new game from Cold Symmetry, who are a small development team made up of ex-kind of artists from Call of Duty. Some of them worked on Alita. I think some of them worked on Halo, and like other big franchises like Diablo, etc. So, yeah, it's a Soulsborne game.
And very interesting it looks too.
Yeah, so it's very it's more like Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 than it is Dark Souls 3.
Right.
In terms of like pacing of the attacks and stuff like that, and just things like I always feel like Dark Souls 3 was a lot more responsive based on like feedback they'd gotten from Bloodborne. They're a little bit quicker, whereas this, if you press the button, you're kind of committed to it.
Yeah.
So like the big mechanic is like that's a parry.
Right.
So it's got parrying, but the thing is basically you have shells that you use, and they all have different kind of stats and abilities, and that are just hardened. So that's kind of like the block.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I do like the look of this. It's nice and dark and gloomy. It's very soulsy looking. Very, very soulsy looking.
Like artistic, like art style wise, I absolutely adore it. It's great. Obviously, as a disclaimer for anybody watching this on Xbox Achievements, PlayStation Trophies, this is PC capture, 4K 60. You probably won't get 4K 60 when it comes to PS4 and the Xbox One when it comes out. But if there's a patch for next gen, we're hoping that 4K 60 will happen for next gen.
Yeah. Well, you'd
that's
hope,
actually
wouldn't you?
this is. Yeah, and I think I played this unlimited on the PC because we got a monster of a PC. But yeah, like it's the mechanics are very similar. Like you get souls, but they're called tar in this game, and use that to upgrade your shell.
Nice.
So at the moment you're looking at this is Harros, and he is an all-rounder.
Right.
He is durability, resolve, stamina. I think he's middle across the board.
So how many different characters are there then?
I'm not entirely sure. I think there might be 4 in the final game.
Right.
We get to see 2 in this preview. So after we've had a playthrough with Harold, we fight this kind of mini boss now. We then jump into Teal.
Okay.
Who is here you go. Just remember the bars at the bottom. Because they change. You don't level up bars and kind of character like this. You level up abilities and stuff.
Right.
So, for example, you can the harden ability that you see me keep using all the time, which is effectively the block. You can use it whenever.
Right.
But when you level up the character, you can reduce the cooldown time on it. So I can use it again now. So you see bottom left, there's a little kind of timer when I use it.
Yeah.
Like when I kick out now, see it filling up.
Yeah.
So I can't use harden until it's full up. So one of his abilities reduces the cooldown.
This guy's a nasty little gremlin.
Yeah, I mean this is me probably 3 or 4 hours into a 2-hour kind of playthrough. So because it's only a short kind of vertical slice, but I played it a lot because I was enjoying it. So this is the point where I've kind of got my head around the combat and nailed it a little bit. Like the harden is absolutely perfect because you can always follow up. You know, it opens them up. There's obviously the thing on my back that keeps lighting up.
Yeah.
That's like the parry window basically.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's useful.
You can parry that. But yeah, the bar at the bottom. Look at this guy's stamina bar. is not great. So when you see Teal in a bit, you'll see that the stamina bar is huge.
Right.
And so the different play styles suit different things. So yeah, Harros is an all-rounder. But yeah, like it does enough to be different from Dark Souls for me that it's not just a shameless rip-off.
Yeah, well that's good. I mean, yeah, there are so many kind of Soulsy clones about. It's good to see one that's kind of like Dark Souls but has its own ideas.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's the ideas that I like. I don't mind like shameless rip-offs, but it's the different angles that it's going with the mortal shells, the shells that you pick up, and how you level them up, And the Harden, which I like, it's a different way of doing a block.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I kind of see. He's defeated that shell.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my original state, but I can get back in.
Right.
But I can only do that once.
Okay.
So there's a little meter on the left next to the Harden meter that keeps filling up. The empty circle. It's got a little kind of glowing white light in it. It means that I can be kicked out my shell.
Okay. Weird.
But I'll run you through some stuff in a bit. Shortly, I can't remember one in the video, that talks you through switching shells and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so there's different currencies as well. So you've got tar, which is your souls, which you use to level up the character, which you can lose if you die, and you have to go and pick up your old shell if you die, basically.
Right.
Then there's also glimpses, which you don't lose when you die.
Okay.
And also you get them from like sub bosses, harder enemies, and stuff like that. And then they are effectively used to buy abilities as well.
Right. Okay.
So you need a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Like, it's like Dark Souls, but it's not. This is Vlas. He's a vendor.
Yeah.
He's out in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't Dark Souls having vendors out in the middle of
I suppose
nowhere.
you had the blacksmith and some other NPCs like that, but yeah.
That was in your little base though, right?
Yeah,
this
true.
This is different. So there's no kind of bonfires or anything in this.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but there is an equivalent that is like it, but isn't like it.
Do you just sort of have checkpoints, or?
Well, so I'd say I don't know how this game works, because this is a vertical slice. They sent a letter over. You can pet the cat, by the way.
Good.
They sent a letter over saying that they removed a load of the story and stuff, and they made it a little bit more linear.
Okay.
So that you could get an idea of the experience. I don't know how it's going to work in the final game, but this is Sesta Ganessa.
Right.
And she is effectively your bonfire.
Right. Oh, okay. Right, that makes sense.
So she just appears everywhere, and you can go to her. That's where you go to level up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't level up until you seek the name. You spend tar to seek the name.
Yeah.
And then it gives you abilities, and each character has different abilities.
Right.
So like I was saying, the length and the harden of the shell.
Yeah.
And each one fits in with the type of shell that they are. So when we pick up the next shell in a matter of minutes, that guy has different abilities to Haros.
Right. Okay.
So Teal's abilities are things like instead of taking damage from poison, that it actually heals you. And things like there's a 20% chance that if you get hit, it will take like a chunk off your stamina bar instead of your health bar. So like abilities like that. So this is Teal.
Right.
This is the second shell that we get to play with.
It looks cool. It's got a kind of Doctor Doom vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like who I stuck with for the rest of the playthrough now.
Right.
Obviously he's got different abilities. Different stats.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to show you in a sec. But he's also got like a phase shift backwards, which we'll see when he gets into combat. So whereas Haros, when he jumps back, this guy kind of phase shifts back, so it's really cool. But yeah, look, as you can see now, his stats, like his durability and his resolve isn't great, but his stamina is fantastic, which you'll see in his bar, and that's Haros, bit of an all-rounder. Good durability, good stamina, good resolve. But look at when we switch shells now. So there are different ways to switch shells as well. We don't know whether this is going to, this is a bit of a catacomb, whether there's going to be the shells just dotted around, but I used an effigy and I can kind of summon the shell.
Okay.
So you can see it's disappeared from behind, and that one on the left has appeared there.
Yeah.
But yeah, then there's loads of little cool kind of secrets like this in the environment. Just love the art style of this kind of place. Just really cool. And just the change of camera as well. It's very kind of cinematic.
Yeah.
In terms of something that Dark Souls didn't really do.
I love the atmosphere.
Oh mate, it's great.
Really
music,
cool.
Well, just not the music, the sound in it as well. It's great. But you'll see now, as I shift backwards, it turns into like a kind of mist, black mist, and then moves back. But yeah, I mean, it's meaty and it's the combat. Yeah, it's satisfying, and I just absolutely adore the hardened shell. But yeah, what you're going to see now, Rich, is the hammer and chisel.
Yeah, I like the look of it. Another different weapon.
Yeah, a little bit quicker, a little bit more range kind of thing in terms of this. I feel like this is good for crowd management.
Is he sort of dual wielding that in a way? Does the
yeah.
Oh,
like
is he throwing his head at you?
Yes, he is, Rich. He does throw his head at you. But like what you've got also is you've got this loot, and this loot summons enemies to you. I'm fairly sure as well the hammer and chisel. It's got a percentage chance to. Oh, that's my special kind of weapon attack.
Nice.
Which you use with your resolve meter. So just above the health in the bottom left, you've got the resolve meter building up.
Yeah.
So then you can use that special ability once you get a bar, basically. Well, this guy's only got 2 bars, whereas Harros has got like 4, I think. So you can build them up and then take them into a boss fight. But the hammer and chisel here, I think it poisons them as well, which is really cool.
I can see where you stuck with this character. He looks like he's got some depth.
Yeah. But I feel like the idea of it is that when you pick up the effigies, that you'll switch them in scenarios.
Yeah.
And just to tease kind of a boss fight, which we're going to put out as a separate video, because that's like 5 or 6 minutes on its own, or at least 4 or 5 minutes on its own. But yeah, there's big boss fights as well. But yeah, big fan. Big fan of Teal over Harros, but Harros was decent. But I really enjoyed my time with Mortal Shell, Rich.
It looks really cool.
It's a classic Souls game if you're a big Souls fan. If you're not, then you're not going to like this. It's hard, it's brutal. There's loads of different mechanics going on. But yeah, it's out Q3 this year, Rich. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Hoping for a next-gen upgrade as well.
Lovely.
But yeah, that was Mortal Shell, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, folks. Bye.
Bye.